Peace, peace. Brother Bridge here with a bow to sun moon. Saying what we're gonna be talking about today is this gonna be the intro to occultism. Saying a lot of us, a lot of us might not know exactly, a lot of these occult principles, a lot of occult concepts. It might be new to a lot of people. So this one right here, I'm gonna be talking to the beginners, you know. I've been I stumbled across first Brother Panic and then Brother Bobby, and then I got into like Phil Valentine and a lot of the elders in the community, the pillars and all that, you know what I'm saying? Brother Rich's channel and all that. That's really where I got where I learned about, the occult. Before that, it was a bunch of self-help books, Think and Grow Rich, all that type of stuff. But that was pretty much my intro to the occult. Books, especially books like I already mentioned, Think and Grow Rich, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Ramtha was another one, that explain metaphysical concepts. And, when I first bumped into the occult, it was like, it was a lot of, I was hearing a lot of stuff about the record industry, the recording industry. So, I was, devil worship and all that kind of stuff. It could spook you. But the more I started looking into things, the more I realized that these concepts, the devil, Baphomet, all these concepts that the world wants you to ignore or stay away from, the more people tell me to stay away from something, the more I want to see exactly what's going on, like figure out for myself what's going on with it. So what I stumbled across was pretty much all these occult practices and witchcraft, voodoo, the orishas, anything that's considered dark magic, black magic, white magic, is pretty much our ancient sciences. Not even pretty much. Closed open and shut case. Occultism is the organic people. It is the sciences of all the organic people on this planet. So pretty much it's the Catholic Church. When they went around the world on this Christian crusade, they were murdering indigenous peoples all over the world, taking their sciences and their practices, taking it back to the Vatican, and then convincing the very people, the progeny of the very people that they slaughtered, that their ancient sciences are evil and wicked and they must stay away from them. So this is the position that we find ourselves in today, 2018, all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in the US, Central America, Europe, Australia, pretty much, you're under the same system, same way of thinking. It's one way of thinking that prevails, in this world. So what we're going to be touching on today is occultism, the intro to occultism, and the 3 things that as an occultist you should be doing every day. Okay, so let's start with occultists worldwide, witches, sorcerers, wizards, warlocks, practitioners of magic worldwide, pretty much we refer to ourselves as cunning folk, cunning people, cunning men and cunning women. When you hear that term, when you're reading a book and you may see the term cunning, just know they're talking about magicians, sorcerers. people of that nature. People in the craft. All right. Now, so another thing is, you know, occultism and magic is an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's not a weekend warrior thing. It's an everyday thing. It's a way of thinking. Pretty much what you're doing is you're controlling your thoughts, your thought patterns, and your mind, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your thoughts. Your thoughts lead to your actions, which lead to the results that you get. But it all starts from the thought. I know if you're a beginner, you've probably still heard of this saying. It's quite cliche. The universe is mental. All is mental. And it's very true. That's why we have the advertisement industry pretty much running a train on our minds without our consent, day in and day out. You know, you can't walk down the street, you can't turn on the TV, you can't look anywhere without seeing an advertisement. So, you know, and a lot of these logos and advertisements are nothing but, you know, ancient symbols that speak to your subconscious mind. But, you know, who told these people to put these symbols in your face? Who told these people to access your subconscious mind? But once you have knowledge, information, which is empowerment, all right. Once you have information on once you have the information that's empowering, okay, you'd be able to stop these psychic attacks on your subconscious just by recognizing them. You know, you'd put your conscious mind, which Brother Panic refers to as the security guard. It was like that movie with Tom Cruise, Vanilla Skies. His psychiatrist would have been his conscious mind, you know, constantly trying to convince him of you know why things don't make sense or why things won't work. So, okay, occultism, magic is pretty much just learning how to access your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. Okay, taking control of your mind. The CIA definition of black magic is the manipulation of electromagnetic waves performed by melanated people. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, as I was saying, magic is an everyday thing. Okay, so your mind is the goal here, because if you don't control your mind, then a lot of other people will, you know, every day, day in, day out, their agenda, the agenda of Hollywood and corporate America and the deep state. We could go on forever and ever. But the agenda of these people is to control your mind. And magic is controlling your own mind, because your subconscious mind creates your reality. It creates your world. So if you can convince your subconscious mind that something is possible, then it will manifest into your reality. So the way that we do that is through repetition, trauma, and okay, so The subconscious mind is access, pardon me, y'all, repetition, trauma, and something else. But anyway, okay. So accessing, it'll come to me later. Accessing your subconscious mind is how you create your very own reality. Now, that's what the rituals are for. Okay? The rituals are to convince your subconscious mind that all of the preparations and all of the things that you have done have now made your desires possible to be manifested because of the actions that you took, aka the ritual. Okay, y'all still with me? All right, cool. So the number one thing for you to do is control your thoughts, clearing your mind. So the number one way to do that would be meditation. Okay, so I would recommend, because I do this myself, I wake up, for those of you to go to work, you know what I'm saying, I would recommend you waking up about 10 minutes early than you usually wake up and meditate for about 10 minutes for starters. Okay, but you focus on your breathing. You are your breath. Okay, what that would do is it puts you in the present. You're not thinking about the past, you're not thinking about the future. The future you're projecting. The past, can't do anything about it. Okay, so you need to ground yourself in the now. And that is the first step to controlling your thoughts, because when you start meditating, you'll see that thoughts are constantly jumping into your mind, whether you like it or not. Why is that? The conversation that you just had with someone, the commercial that you just saw on TV, the music that you're hearing on the radio, the billboard that you saw down the street or outside your window. Everyone and everything is looking for your attention, looking for space in your head. The minute you're able to control the thoughts that enter your mind space, you're the magician. All right, so meditation. You wake up in the morning, you start meditating. You focus on your breath. Okay? You focus on your breathing. You focus all of your consciousness into your breath. You are your breath. Okay? And that is the first step to astral traveling. Once you can identify yourself outside of your physical self and as your breath, you are your breathing. You're grounded in the now, but that is astral traveling. Okay, but that's later. We'll get into that later. Okay, so meditation. All right. Now, when you meditate, it's very important to have the proper posture. Okay, a lot of people, the classic yoga posture, the lotus position. Okay, me personally, I'm not as flexible as I used to be. Okay, so I draw in my left foot first, as close as I can to my body. I pull my right foot on top of my left leg, or if I can, I put it in front. You know, try to keep my knees on the ground. Straighten my back. To make sure that my back is straight, I hold my arms up and then put them down and keep my back straight. My hands, you could do the classic mudra, place them on each knee. For me personally, I prefer to take my left hand, put it in my lap, my right hand, put it in my lap, and connect the thumbs and place it on my lap, meditate that way. And the last point where you want to make you want to make sure that you have a point of contact is your tongue, right behind your two front teeth on the palate, the roof of your mouth. Okay, that's the last point of contact that you want. And you want to make sure that your spine is straight. So you might want to tilt your head forward a little bit and you begin meditating. Now, a lot of people, they might have an issue where if they close their eyes, they're seeing a lot of visions and there's a lot of distractions. Okay, so if you have that problem, then I would suggest that you open your eyes and you focus on an object, but you focus on that object with the same focus that you would trying to thread a needle. Okay. And that should help with keeping the visual portion of the meditation focused. Okay. So now you inhale one good time, exhale one good time, inhale again. Now, what you're doing with the first 3 inhalations of your meditation is on your inhales and exhales, you're inhaling the possibilities and you're exhaling all your past thoughts or your regrets. You're inhaling clarity. You're exhaling all your expectations. You're exhaling all of your regrets. You are your breath. You are in the now. Identify with your breath. Identify yourself as your breath, and that should clear your space. What's going to happen is there's going to be distractions jumping in. They're going to be jumping in, coming in at you, trying to distract you. What you do is you just focus on your breathing without punishing yourself or being angry at yourself for the distractions that are coming to you. Okay, you just focus on your breathing, nice and easy, smooth. Now, it's like lifting weights. It's like yoga. In the beginning, you couldn't even touch your toes, but you stick with it. Before you know it, you'll be able to put your leg behind your head. Pause. All right. Okay, so you stick with it. You'll notice that within a couple of weeks, you'll be able to control your thoughts. You'll actually be able to, you could be on a bus. You could be in the cafeteria at your job. You might be at your desk, and you'll find that you'll be able to meditate on demand, on command, I should say, just by simply breathing, focusing on your breathing, without alerting anybody to what you're doing. Okay, so that's the first step. One of the things that you should be doing each and every single day as an occultist, that's the first thing. Okay, meditate, clear your mind space. Okay, distractions out, focus on the now. Okay, that's strengthening your mental capacity, your mental fortitude. Before you know it, you'll be able to deflect psychic attacks. You'll be able to notice psychic attacks. You'll be more able to recognize when spirits are trying to communicate with you by being able to clear your mind of what is called the monkey mind, clearing the monkey mind chatter. So meditation every day. Okay, as an occultist, you need to do this every day. I can't stress that. Second thing that I do every day after the meditation, I do a banishing ritual, a banishment ritual. There's a lot of good books on banishment rituals. You could probably look some up, find some on the internet. Pretty sure that. I got a good book right here by Jason Miller, Protection and Reversal Magic. All right, it got some real good rituals. banishing rituals. Now, I don't banish entities that I invoke, or servitors, or entities that thought forms that I create, or I don't banish whatever I invoke, or what I create. Okay, because if I did invoke it, if I brought it here, I'm saying, why do I want to get rid of it? Basically. So the banishing ritual, pretty much in the morning, it's clearing my sacred space. Okay, where you live, your home, your temple, your wherever you do your magic at. Me, my entire home is my temple. I'm saying, we don't have no mundane visitors coming through this door. Honey B, shout out to Honey B. I'm saying, we don't have no we don't have mundane visitors. So, you know, in your temple as an occultist, you don't want any mundane people in your temple. Okay, but my home, our home, is our temple. Normally people would put aside, have a separate room, or, you know, something of that nature aside for their temple. Okay, so I banish whatever entities are here before I may have moved into an apartment or a new home, or whatever energies may be present due to other circumstances. You know, somebody may have gotten you know, body right outside, or, you know, inside the apartment before you got here. You don't know what type of thought forms and energies are present or nearby in your sacred space. So every day I wake up, you know, that's the second thing after meditating, cleansing the sacred space by banishing all unwanted, nefarious, adversarial forces and energies. Okay, so that would be the purpose for that right there. Also, thirdly and finally, offerings. Okay, so after you banish these adversarial energies, the next step is offerings. Okay, so when you're doing your offerings, you don't just in the beginning, when you first do your offerings, you know, in a new sacred space, such as a new apartment, you don't want to use herbs that would, you know, call certain spirits, such as Mulain. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Mullein. You don't want to use that because it's used to certain spirits. It attracts them and stuff like that. So you don't know what spirits, what energies are present when you first get to a new sacred location. You know, the building or the apartment of your home may be built on some sort of ancestral land. It may be in some area where there were energies there present. We don't know. So the offerings are a way for you to make a connection to the spiritual world in your immediate environment, and it even carries on. It carries on with you when you travel. Okay, you catch more flies with honey, pretty much is what it's saying. You know how that goes. So yes, all right. So with the offerings, okay, now there's this I would recommend the same book that I just showed you, because it contains all of that information. Okay, and that book is Protection and Reversal Magic by Jason Miller. So, you know, it would give you rituals for banishing. It would give you rituals for offerings. However, the ball's in your court. Okay, you can come up with your own ritual, because it's your subconscious mind that you are speaking to. That's the whole purpose of the ritual, to convince your subconscious mind. Okay. Now with the offerings, a ritual is not necessary, but it doesn't hurt. Now, when I give my offerings, I always light an incense. And whatever it is that I'm offering with the incense, I mentally multiply it to take on the essence of the incense and fill up the space. Actually, I in my mind, I vision the incense filling up the entire universe, and the essence of my offerings are taking the form of the incense, filling up the entire vastness of the universe. And I'm making these offerings to all entities, whether they are adversarial, whether they are benevolent, friendly, malevolent. Come one, come all, feast on, enjoy. Okay? Because the very first thing, sacrifice, the very first ritual, the very first sacrifice that you ever offer is your time and your energy. You see, magic is subtle. Okay? You're not going to see big flashing lights. You're not going to, hear horns, bells, and whistles. Okay? It's very subtle. It's the subtle world. Thoughts. We're going to go back to the universe is mental. There are some spirits that can manifest and consume. They may be able to consume their offering. Most cannot. So you have to make their offering subtle. They can feed off the essence of your offering. Say an orange. I offer an orange. What I would do is, with my mind and the incense, the essence of the orange is being offered up through the incense. It does that. I hope that makes sense. The essence of my offering is being offered up through the incense, taking the form of the incense. And the incense can take the form of whatever it is that the host desires. Whatever it is that these entities, these energies that are nearby, whatever it is that they desire, let that incense take form of what it is they desire. And also I magnify the effects of that incense to fill up the vastness of this universe. But definitely, man, you definitely want to get that book, man. You definitely want to get this book, man. Get started on that. So those are three things that you want to do as an occultist, man, every day, every single day. You know what I'm saying? And watch the results, because in occultism, results are all that matters. Results, results, results. Life. In life, results are all that matters. Who cares what the next person says? Who cares? If you're happy with the results of your life, 1,000 round of applause. But if you're not happy with the results of your life, you got to change your thinking. You change your thoughts, you change your actions, you change your results. It don't get no more simpler than that, On my cunning folk. Word, you know what I'm saying? Abode of Sun Moon. That's the name of this channel. The reason I decided to call it Abode of Sun Moon is because well, the abode, my last name actually means Pharaoh. Those of you who recognize my face, you know my last name, but I ain't shooting out no governments. All right, so my last name means Pharaoh. All right. The Pharaoh, okay, and Cometin, y'all gotta help me with that. I don't Commission or Cometin, which one is it? Okay, so the Pharaoh was considered to be the abode of sun and moon, the enlightened individual, the perfect individual, perfected individual. Okay, so the sun and moon, the Pharaoh is symbolic of the sun and moon. The pyramid is symbolic of the Pharaoh, the abode of sun and moon, the house of the sun and the moon. Exactly what is the sun and the moon? The sun is the male principle, the moon is the female principle. You'd see these principles playing out in the caduceus, the two snakes intertwining, rising up the caduceus to where the wings are, the wings of Horus. Those wings mean enlightenment, heaven. The sun and the moon could be the right and left hemisphere of your brain. What sits inside the sun and moon? Hold on. Pardon me. Yeah. Okay. Right and left hemisphere of the brain, sun and moon. So the house of sun and moon, okay, that is where, that's the mirror. That's where it dwells. Okay. Now, right in between the right and left hemisphere of the brain is where the pineal gland sits. Shaped like a pine cone. It's real little. This pineal gland sits right here in between the right and left hemisphere of my brain. And it has like an auric field generating. The same auric field that generates my entire body. The same auric field that you see, they show it, it's generated on this planet, whether it's a circle, whether it's flat, okay? The same auric field that you would see in a black hole, but it's all here, right here, in the abode of the sun and the moon. Your pineal gland, your soul, the silent observer. That eye in the top of the pyramid, that's the silent observer. That's your soul. Your pineal gland is your soul. And that's where it sits right there. In the abode of the sun and the moon. Okay? So, you know, symbology is everything, man. Stay tuned. You know, got a lot of information for y'all, a lot of info to share, a lot of books to share. Man, y'all hit me up. Let me know if you got any tips, any pointers, man. Let me know if you got any questions. Remember, I'm speaking to the beginners here. I'm saying, because I know I don't want the heavy hitters. I don't want the heavy hitters fucking me up. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I ain't trying to hear none of that. I'm saying I'm talking to the beginners. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta crawl before you walk. You know, so I'm not trying to beat nobody in their head. I don't wanna seem like I'm smarter than nobody. I'm talking down to niggas. Nah. You know what I'm saying? I just bringing this information to the table, man. It's what I offer, man. What do you offer, man? We offer our lives. What are you bringing to the table? You know what I'm saying? Realest shit I ever heard, man. Hey, man, I love that fucking monologue, man. Yeah, man, I just betrayed my age right there. I just betrayed my age and shit. They like, yo, what the fuck is he talking about, man? A reasonable doubt, man. Can I live? You know what I'm saying? Vicious monologue in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Homie Jigga was like, well, why do we hustle? We hustle out of a sense of hopelessness, sort of a desperation, out of that desperation, we become addicted, sort of like the fiends we accustomed to serving, you know? Yeah, hey, man, I ain't even gonna lie, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up listening to Jigga. And this isn't even gonna, I'm not going left with this, but I grew up listening to Jigga, you know what I'm saying? I'm a street urchin. It just is what it is. I didn't have, you know, many father figures. I didn't have, you know, I didn't have many male figures, positive male figures. I can't even say positive or negative. We're gonna stay away from those terms here, positive and negative. But the male figures that I did have in my life, before I say this, I want to make sure that it's exact and correct. Okay, the male figures that I did have in my life, that I did gravitate to, were only out to exploit me. Yeah. Yo, take that pack, shorty. You know what I'm saying? Yo, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yo, you ain't gonna go to jail. You get arrested. Yo, hold that. Yo, hold this. Take that pack over there and all that. So, you know, Jigga, I listen to Jigga's music, and he was sort of like a, you know, like a big brother. He spoke to us. He was like, chains are cool to cop, but more important are lawyer fees. You know what I'm saying? Giving little homies the game. You know, if you ain't have no big brother, you know, to tell you certain things back in the day, that's what hip hop was there for. You know, also, we're going to talk about some grimoires. You know what I'm saying? Grimoires, a book of spells, and rhyming in couplets. You would see that in certain incantations, they speak in couplets, okay? Because we can talk about the occultism, the metaphysics of hip hop, and how, you know, rappers are actually alchemists. They're actually magicians, saying these things before they have it in rhyme and making them manifest on the material plane. Okay, so before we even go there, what really struck me, what really started me out on my path to the occult? Well, I used to think that all of these symbols, you know, Baphomet, Aleister Crowley and the pentagram and all these things, I used to, oh my God, these symbols that you see them, you know, putting up, and, you know, covering the eye, and, you know, Obama doing like this, and, you know, George Washington doing the Baphomet, you know what I mean, doing the Baphomet and everything. I used to think that they were, you know, devil, Satan worshiping. I'm like, whoa, oh my God, you know, the world is ending. I saw on some YouTube video Beyonce wearing a Baphomet ring. I saw, you know, Jay-Z, you know, the Masonic shit. So I'm like, God damn, man, like, what the fuck? Like, I grew up listening to this dude, man. Like, he had all kinds of advice for me that, you know, got me out of, like, you know, certain situations. It got me through, like, you know, certain situations. Like, what the fuck? How the hell this nigga sold his soul? This nigga wearing the seven, you know, the seven universal flag of the nation of gods and earth. You know what I'm saying? His wife wearing the Baphomet. Like, what the fuck? I'm fucked up. I can't. So I decided, you know what, man, instead of taking what everybody else is telling me, oh, devil worshiping and all this shit, I'm gonna find out for myself. And that was where I started. That was where I made my foray into the occult. And I've been empowered ever since. Like we said in the beginning of this video right here, occultism, symbology, even Satan, you know, Baphomet is actually, yo, peace to brother Bobby Hemmett, because this info came from him. Baphomet, well, it didn't come from him, but I heard him say it, you know, and you know that brother ain't never lied to us. The brother got the scholarship. So brother Bobby Hemmett enlightened me to the fact that Baphomet is actually a symbol that the Knights Templars created for the Moors, the African Moors, that taught them everything that they know, all of their science, everything that they know came from the Moors. And Baphomet actually represents the perfected man. It's homage to you. It's homage to me. But the Catholic Church taught me to fear me. They taught me that all that I am, all of my knowledge, all of my science is evil and wicked. Yeah. That's what they taught me. Well, that's what they had my mama taught me. Mama, I love you. Mama is God, by the way. Mama is God. Even in her ignorance, mama's God. We gonna go into that too. That's on a later date, though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, thank you for tuning in. This was Intro to Occultism. I mean, comment, like, subscribe. Fuck with me, y'all. We out here. Peace. Brother Bridge.